Hi, I'm Christina Daves. And one thing I wanted to clarify is I am on the marketing board, but I'm not a marketing alum. I graduated in political science and German, double major, of which I do nothing with now. So it's really important that you realize this degree is a degree and it will get you your first job. But after that, the sky is the limit really for anything you want to do. So my company is called PR for Anyone. I call myself a publicity strategist. And what I do is I help people land in the media because most small to medium sized businesses don't have budgets like Pepsi, like Coke, like Budweiser, where they can spend $100,000 a month on a PR firm. And even smaller companies don't have the $5,000 to $10,000 a month for 6 to 12 months. So I teach people how to do it in-house and have a really great success rate with it. So my clients are regularly featured in the media and then could use that to really grow their visibility and get more clients. I actually started with a retail store. I'll go even further back. I graduated from tech. I had my double major. I wanted to go to law school. That was my big thing in international business. And I couldn't do well on the LSAT. So for all of you out there failing at things, it happens to all of us. But I took the LSAT probably 3 or 4 times and got turned down from every law school that I applied to for year after year after year and gave up. So then I took a job in Germany. I was going to move overseas. I was really excited about it. And sadly, my dad was diagnosed with stage 4 esophageal cancer. And this was before cell phones. This is when it was really expensive to fly. So I chose not to go to Germany. I didn't take the job because he did not have a long time to live. So 6 months later, he passed away. And I was, as you can imagine, a 24-year-old losing your dad, kind of lost. So I did all kinds of crazy things. I got my real estate license. My friend in real estate, who I met through real estate, we actually started an event planning company, which was really fun. Now looking back, it was like Match.com before the internet. So we would mail out 20,000 postcards. We do these big concerts in DC. I booked the Dave Matthews Band before they were on the radio. So that's like my big claim to fame on that. But after a while, that partying for a living was getting old, and I met my soon-to-be husband and decided that I should do the 9 to 5 kind of thing. So I started working for my real estate partner's father, who did eminent domain work, which is, when the government takes your property for a road or, something that they need, government related, and they pay you for it. Not super exciting. But I did that for a while. It paid the bills. And then my next door neighbor said, hey, we should open a retail store. We were out in Prince William County. There was nothing out there yet. It was like the up and coming. So we found this cute little house in a blighted town in the middle of nowhere in Haymarket. And we opened details for the home. And it was successful from the minute it opened. We got all the top retail brands. Nobody wanted to when they saw where we were, but we knew that right over the hill, they were about to build $5,000, $800,000 plus homes. So our market was right there and coming. But that was super fun. Did that for 10 years and got really burned out. So I quit doing that. I sold my business and I decided I was going to be a stay-at-home mom, which is really hard as an entrepreneur. And then the broken foot came and I broke my foot. We were headed to New York and the light bulbs went off because I couldn't find anything to decorate my boot, to make it look fashionable. And I'm going to New York and I'm on the train and I'm on my computer, fashion accessories for medical boots, and there was nothing. So I designed a fashion line, and everybody loved the idea. It was a great concept. Another big failure. I thought doctors would sell it. Now you're thinking, now you see stuff in doctors' offices. They're selling all kinds of retail, but in 2010, they weren't doing that yet. So I was on the cutting edge, but a little too early. So that's where the PR piece came in, that I taught myself everything I could. I literally went to the library and read book after book about PR, and I did it very poorly at the beginning. And then I started to figure things out. And in my first year of business, I was in over 50 media outlets. To date, I've been in over 1,000. But then people started coming to me and saying, Christina, can you help me? How are you doing this? How are you on TV all the time? How are you in all these media outlets? And that's how PR for Anyone was born. I asked. That's like my biggest lesson to tell people. Steve Harvey was actually it's a media query site that I use, and the query was, "Do you have a product you want to take to the next level?" And then in parentheses, it just said national television. I did not know it was Steve Harvey, and then that was August. And then in October, I got an email, and they needed a video from me, like in an hour. I was like, "What do you mean? I've got kids. I've got to get my kids to school and pack lunches." And but I had tried out for Shark Tank, and I made it so far through the process. I always say that, Mark Burnett loved me. I got to that far, and then ABC Sony turned me down because in season 1 they had an accessory for a regular boot, and they thought it was too similar to do that in season 2. So I cried my eyes out for 3 days because this was my big break. I was going to make it. I was going to be on Shark Tank. Not knowing that the Steve Harvey thing was going to come 5 months later. And that actually was my big break because I won his top inventor competition. I won $25,000 when I was dead broke. It put my product on the map. After that, I got Diana Ross to wear the product and then went back to Steve Harvey, and they did a whole nother segment on me that, if Diana Ross, the diva of divas, is wearing this, it's got to be good. So that was really a turning point in my business, was Steve Harvey. And then Hoda Kotb, I do a lot of stuff at Tech, and I emailed the people at Tech. I'm like, why haven't we done anything with Hoda Kotb? And they said, we can't really get to her. And I had built a relationship with a Today Show producer through my work stuff that I do. And I emailed her, and the timing was impeccable. Hoda was releasing a book. She was going on a book tour, and I got it all arranged. And then I thought, you know what? I would love to interview her. And I went to the dean. I did my email and said why I thought I should be the person interviewing her. And they agreed, and they let me do it. And that was one of the greatest experiences of my life, to be up on stage, just the two of us, and being able to share Virginia Tech stories and her path to becoming, now she wasn't the anchor yet, but leading up to where she is today. It was pretty cool. And I say this a lot, my kids are 24 and 22, so I know what you guys are going through. You grew up in a terrible time when you were always told you're the best at everything. You're going to win at everything. My kids would get 9th place ribbons in swim team. I'm like, throw that away. And I told them when they were little, like, there's only going to be one person who gets the job and hundreds are going to interview. You guys have to get used to hearing that. It's not about you personally. It's the fit of the whole organization. And I really want you guys to toughen up and know you're not going to get the first job you apply for. If you do, hooray, kudos to you. I'm so happy for you. But 99% of you watching this are not. And you've got to get past that. The job is there. This is really what I want. I want you all to find your dream job. And I've worked with so many students, mentoring them, and they all think, oh, I've got to take the first job that I get. No, you're going to spend more time there than you are with your family or your friends. I want you to find what you want to do and then go after that. And it is attainable. One of my old mentees who I just adored, a gal named Molly, and she was brilliant graphic designer, and she was applying for jobs, and they were crap jobs. I'm like, what are you doing? You are so gifted. She had won all these awards. I mean, she was amazing. And when I came back, I hadn't seen her, I hadn't really talked to her. And I came back in April, and she comes flying into my arms, gives me the biggest hug. And she said, I just got my dream job. Her first job out of Virginia Tech, she was the graphic designer for the Florida Panthers hockey team. first job because she didn't settle. So I want you guys to realize that you're good at what you do. You got a degree from a great university, and know that, and I can't remember the number, we were just talking about it. I think it's 90% of all seniors will have a job upon graduation, and within 3 months or 6 months, it's 97%. Okay, you guys are gonna get a job. You just have to realize that you're gonna get a lot of no's. It's just the way it goes. There's one job, one person for it. And it's how does that person fit into the whole big picture? Yeah. My number one piece of advice to all of you is listen. Listen to the people who are talking to you. Listen to your managers, your VPs, whoever you get to experience, so you can have engaging conversations with them. And you can't do that if you're not listening to what they do. Connect with everybody you meet. Go on LinkedIn. Every single person in that organization, I want you to connect with them and stay in touch with them. Send a message. My son, I taught him this, and he literally just got a new position at his company because he did this. He reached out to people, he met people. It's all about your network. It's who you know, but have conversations with people. Ask people questions about what they like. See if you can find a connection with that manager. Maybe you run marathons. Maybe you like to fish. Whatever that is, you travel to some unique place. Whatever connection you can build with that person, and you won't know that if you're not listening. So you've got to really pay attention and just get to know people. Don't be afraid. Let them get to know you and how well you can fit into their organization. You have this amazing resource right now called YouTube. Start anchoring. Interview your parents, their friends. Show them how good you are. It's really funny because I'm working with the former executive producer of the Today Show. We actually brought her on our team, and I interview my clients. I bring them into television studios, and she was watching them to get to know our clients better before she had calls with them. And she texted me and she said, "You should be in an anchor chair." I was like, "What?" She's like, "No, you are so good. You should be on an anchor chair." I never dreamed of that. I never thought of it. And then I joked with her. I'm like, "Well, if you know any openings for a 55-year-old, let me know." But you know what? You put that stuff out there. Grow your YouTube channel. This is how people are getting movie deals now. Go on TikTok. Now you've got 10 minutes on TikTok. So you've got to put stuff out there. So start, make sure you know lighting and sound, and, if you can do some kind of a good backdrop. But I would start interviewing people. Just ask. Go on your LinkedIn profile and see who's on there that would be really cool to interview. Most people aren't going to say no. And especially if you tell them what you're doing. Hey, I'm building my reel. I'd really like to be, in television. And then I would start looking. And I have lots of alerts and stuff for that. TV presenter on LinkedIn. And the stations are hiring all the time, like reporters and anchors. It's a rough job, but there's constantly openings. And as Hoda said, you got to start in a small market. It's a great interview if you want to find it's on my YouTube channel. But to hear her story, for those of you going into that, fast forward to that part. I think if I remember correctly, she got 37 no's. Back to you guys have got to take no. And she thought, she's like, I'm going to Roanoke. And then she started going south, smaller markets. And she still got the no and still got the no. So be prepared for that. But you have the ability now, like I said, with YouTube and TikTok and Instagram Reels, you can put this out there, and then you can, when you're applying for a job, they see that you have all this stuff. So it's very different. You have to remember, this is pre-internet. I know, right? Pre-cell phone. And get ready for this, you guys, pre-computer. We didn't have computers. Nope, we had a typewriter, and I had the Mac Daddy typewriter that could store 500 characters, and then you could type, and then you could look at it on a screen this big, and then you'd hit print, and it would come out. So it was a very different time. You guys have the ability, and I talk to this when I talk to the students, you can create your brand right now online. Create a website, create a profile. If you're doing graphic design, if you're doing TV stuff, whatever that is, put that on your website. Build out your LinkedIn profile. Sometimes that's the first and only thing people will look at, but you have all of these resources that we didn't have. I mean, we had a resume. That was kind of it. I don't even remember job fairs back then. College, you were here to have fun and get a degree, and I'll shock you on this one. It was $800 a quarter. We had 3 quarters in a year. So I could work in the summer and pay for a year of college. How crazy is that? But we didn't have the resources back then that you guys have. So I want you to take advantage of everything the university offers. You Business Horizons, and I know different organizations have other kinds of job fairs. Go to the advisors, go to the people that are there and connect. Find Hokies on LinkedIn. Hokies we're a crazy breed. We love fellow Hokies. And it's funny, I'm trying to book an event for Virginia Tech right now and just found out the event manager at the big brewery in Northern Virginia that we want to do it. We want to bring Coach Pry out, is a Hokie. So instant connection with her. And that's what's going to happen with you with jobs and things like that. So it's hard to compare way back when to now, but just take advantage of all the resources that you have that are free. Your computers, your phones, you have so much access to anybody at all. Use it. Well, the failures are too many to count. And know that, you guys, you can't. Life is not all, bells and whistles and roses and fun. I mean, you've got to have setbacks, and the failures make you more successful, makes you a much better person to learn from your failures. But the biggest one was really launching CastMedic, and the plan that I had for it didn't happen. And we mortgaged our house for this. I mean, I could have lost my house. So that's why the Steve Harvey thing, probably one of my biggest successes, helped alleviate that. But it was a pretty stressful time. And then the Hoda copy is great. I love what I do. So every day is a joy. And that's what I really want to get across to you guys. I want you to have fun with work and what you're doing. And when you have the failures, I cried for 3 days when I didn't get into Shark Tank. 3 days. But look what happened. And I think Steve Harvey was better for me anyway than Shark Tank ever would have been. But had I not gotten over that, to see this window open, they say when one door closes, another one or a window opens. Always be on the lookout for what's next after the failure. Oh gosh, if I had known how much I love TV and doing this, I would have gone into broadcast journalism. And I kind of was joking about, is 55 too late? But now I'm like, maybe it's not. And I didn't know this. I would do my first video I ever did. You guys, I had stickies all around my laptop, and I was like reading like this. And now I speak on stages to thousands of people, and I do TV. I have an online TV segment. I love it. Love it. So that's probably always going to be a regret, but I don't know that I ever would have known had I not done what I'm doing now. Steve Harvey was my first TV appearance. I was so nervous. I called my friend who's a hypnotist. I'm like, Brian, you have to hypnotize me. I can't do this. He's like, I can't hypnotize you over the phone. Like you have to. I can't. I don't know what I'm going to do. And that was, 10 years ago? So a lot has changed since then. But again, I'm reinventing myself, and who knows, maybe I'll be able to do something like that in the future. I'm doing live events, which is really fun, where we take people into television studios and we pitch the media while we're there. Love doing that. And we bring people in and we teach them all about marketing, brand voice, brand vision, we do messaging, we do influencer marketing, we do video scripts, social media posts that get read, because it's really important, especially as a business owner, to cut through all the noise. You know, we always say we're in scroll nation right now. How do you get people to pay attention to you? And then we take our VIPs in a television studio and interview them. It's pre-planned out, but it's like the perfect marketing video for them, for their website or their social media. And then we guarantee that they're going to land at least 3 interviews, media interviews. So we do that twice a year, and it's just awesome. Doing more spokesperson stuff, because like I said, that is really fun for me, and it brings me joy. So I'm actually hired a coach, and I'm working on how you do that. And I keep telling my husband he's ready to retire, and I'm like, I'm not stopping anytime soon. So who knows? I don't know what's next, but every year brings new fun. I do have a new show, yes, on Daily Ad Brief. It's an online TV show, More to Media, which is really fun. And I get to interview CMOs and COOs and just people doing really cool stuff in marketing, media, and digital. Yeah, our board is amazing. I was only supposed to be on it for 2 years. I'm on 7 now, but I love it. I love it. But our big thing is the students. That's why we're there. So if you could see the rock stars on our board, we've got people from NASCAR, American Express, M&M Mars, although I think she went to Burt's Bees, I think. But anyway, Uber, right? We just got Uber. So just an incredible group of people, and we're here to help our marketing students. So they've got my cell phone number. They can call, they can reach out. We try to see what the students want. So we created a junior marketing advisory board, which is student run. I oversee it, but they're just amazing. So they're there for marketing students, especially freshmen. And when we went through COVID, oh my gosh, it was awful that, being locked in the dorms, but they're there to advise and then to let students know that we're here. Ask questions. We come twice a year, and we do resume reviews or, interview prep, whatever the students want. We do questionnaires, and we're here for you for, 2 times a year, and then throughout, and anybody will talk to anybody, any student. So we're just here to help the students in the next phase of their life. And enjoy what you're doing. Enjoy what you're doing, and don't be afraid to ask. The worst anyone is going to say is no. If maybe your job you don't love, but there's somewhere, but you love your company and you want to just transfer over to another department, or just connect with people, get to know people, be happy in what you do. There's nothing worse than somebody who comes home every night, it's like, I hate my job. You guys should be happy. And don't beat yourself up if what you think is the greatest thing ever doesn't work out. Look at me, 3 days of crying for Shark Tank, and what ended up happening was probably 1,000 times better. So believe in yourself, be happy, ask questions, meet people, and just go rock the world.